Last night, I came across on my YouTube homepage an interview conducted by Mehdi Hassan, a great journalist, by the way, and he was talking to Miss Rachel. Her real name is Rachel Accurso, and she runs a children's YouTube channel with over 14 million subscribers. I'm 24 years old, I don't have any kids of my own, so as you can imagine, I didn't know who she was before watching this interview. And I have to say, I can't remember the last time someone has got to me right in the feels as quickly as this lady has, at least an online personality. The interviewers primarily focused on her being an open advocate for the children of Gaza. She's also affiliated with the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund, and even did a video recently with a little girl from Gaza who lost her legs from an Israeli airstrike, and fortunately her and her mother were able to evacuate Gaza. But unfortunately she has two brothers that are still stuck in Gaza, still being deprived of food, and still subjected to horror every single day. And in the video, Miss Rachel is singing and the little girl is skipping around, and I'll be honest, I did choke up a little while watching the video. And even just recalling this video is getting to me a little. Good thing I don't do face cam videos, right? But this is a little girl who deserves to have a normal, happy childhood, but she was deprived of that, and on top of that, deprived of both of her legs. Because a settler colonial estate, funded and armed by our tax dollars, wishes to see women, men, children just like her eradicated. I've seen quite a few of the more disgusting Zionists on social media justify the mass slaughter of children in Gaza by saying, well, these children grow up to be Hamas members. Better to wipe them out early than to risk more terrorists. Fuck you. I have endless appreciation for what Miss Rachel is doing because she is humanizing victims of this atrocity. It's easy to brush off victims who have lost their friends, family, loved ones in general, or lost their limbs, or even their lives, when they're just statistics on your screen. But these are human lives being slaughtered and destroyed in mass, and being subjected to horror that no one should have to endure, most of which are not Hamas or a terrorist of any stride. They are regular fucking people who would lead normal and happy lives if they had the opportunity to do so. What the fuck did they do to deserve this, other than having the misfortune of just being born on a chunk of land occupied by a settler colonialist nation who views the group of people who predominantly make up those who live on said land as less than human and worthy of extermination? What the fuck did this little girl who Miss Rachel met do to deserve losing both of her legs and being subjected to unimaginable horror on a daily basis, I'd imagine, at such a young age, and still has siblings in Gaza who are still witnessing and experiencing said horror? And yet disgusting pundits, influencers, streamers like Asmongold want you to believe that Palestinians hail from an inferior background and culture where they all grow up to be terrorists. Therefore, we should shed no tears over them being wiped out. Meanwhile, here's this double amputee little girl getting some reprieve from the excess and unimaginable suffering she has already experienced at such a young age, and getting to act like the happy, carefree little girl she deserves to be. She is no different from any other little girl or child in general from any part of the world, hailing from any background or culture. She is a child deserving of a normal life just like any other child in Gaza and anyone in general in Gaza. And lastly, the fact that anyone wants to give Miss Rachel shit for humanizing the children in Gaza and being an advocate for them disgusts me to no end. There's the pro-Israel group Stop Anti-Semitism, who has labeled Miss Rachel as an anti-Semite, and it's even called upon the Department of fucking Justice to open an investigation on her for daring to say we should have empathy for the children in Gaza who have had their lives destroyed or even lost. I was also watching a Majority Report segment discussing Miss Rachel, which is what made me want to make this video in the first place, and they showcased this infuriating quote from Stacey Hackner, a teacher in London, which reads, "Miss Rachel seems to be someone who is really, really good-hearted. But in the context of everything that's going on, she says, I care about all children. But she's really talking about the children of Gaza. That has left a lot of Jewish parents feeling quite isolated. I mean, what the fuck? You look at this clear-cut atrocity in which at least tens of thousands of children have been killed, and many of the children who have survived have been severely injured or lost limbs, or lost their parents, or any other loved ones. And you have the fucking gall to say bringing attention to that, having empathy for that, may make other people feel isolated. I say anyone, regardless if they're Jewish or not, who feels off-put by someone for having basic fucking compassion and doesn't like seeing kids losing their lives en masse or being exposed to such unimaginable suffering that no kid or anyone, regardless of their age, should be exposed to, but especially children, might have something very, very fucking wrong with them. Remove your politics surrounding Israel and Palestine for a second. You could think Israel is totally justified in their response to what happened on October 7th. I don't care. At least 13,000 children, according to the UN, have been killed in Gaza, and 25,000 hospitalized. Coming from a completely objective standpoint, why should anyone take issue with someone saying the mass bloodshed of children should end? And showcasing to the world that these are regular kids deprived of the happy, normal childhood they deserved. Do you understand how fucking monstrous you come across as when you try to whip up a controversy from that? She's not even getting into the weeds of the escalating tensions between Israel and Palestine that eventually led to October 7th, or getting into any of the politics surrounding Israel and Palestine. She is simply saying she has immense compassion for all of the innocent people who unjustly lost their lives in Gaza, and she's not excluding anyone when she says this. The fact of the matter is, there have been way more Palestinian lives that have been lost since October 7th than there have been Israeli lives lost on October 7th. And the fact that what she is doing and saying is even considered remotely controversial just speaks volumes to how disgusting so many people are in this world. Fuck each and every single one of you who is giving this woman shit for simply having what you lack. Basic human compassion. And yet so many people in this country who are vehemently pro-Israel think children's lives are at risk because trans people and LGBTQ plus people in general simply exist. Well, here is the ultimate think of the children issue of our lifetime, Shirley, and you're cheerleading the nation that is killing innocent children in mass. How caring of you. And I know a lot of this video was just appealing to emotion, but can you fucking blame me? We're talking about the loss of life and mass suffering of innocent children. And it makes my fucking blood boil that there are a disturbing amount of people in this world who will happily justify that and smear anyone shining a spotlight on that as anti-Semitic, quote-unquote. Learn what the fuck compassion is, you evil pieces of shit. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.